So I've been reflecting on just how, just how like nobody cares when you actually reach out and try to do something innovative. And this is a really, real difficult thing to process. And it still is really difficult for me to process this. And I'm not complaining. This is not what I'm suggesting. It's not a complaint. It's how you actually feel when you do something that is innovative. Lots of people talk about how they want innovation and that it's actually a really great, amazing thing until you actually do it and you realize that, either people get pretty upset about it in various different ways, or, the response that I've felt the most and I'm painfully aware of is nobody cares, right? You get that just blank look. You can talk about it and say how much work you put in, how much money you spent, and any number of different things, and nobody cares. The only thing that people will, you have to come back to this idea, and I talk about this a lot, right? Um, People are very self-interested, right? And that includes me. The reason why I think about this because I think, I've been thinking about the reciprocity project for a long time, and I've been sort of working at it for a long time, and I ultimately think that people would be very interested in something that would hopefully benefit them, but even then um, people just truly do not care unless there is a significant value that's added to it. And that significant value is very qualitative in how you might describe it. It's not clear. It's not like it's, written down and that there is this answer of that this thing is qualitatively better, or, that we should um, we should always have this thing, or everybody perceives it in the same sort of way. That's not at all the case, right? It's not easy to know what value actually is and how you might describe it in various different ways, because everybody has a different idea of what value is in their head. And as I've been building out the reciprocity project and spending ungodly amounts of time and energy and money and all of that kind of stuff that one does when you do it, um, you realize that you can't sort of solve everybody's problems. You can't sort of get everybody to buy into it. The vast majority of people will not care about something, and that's where you have to sort of reverse engineer and think about, okay, you know, you might be excited about it, but the world does not care about it, and you have to sort of take a step back, and even and it's worse because even the most people that are the most closest to it and you think that should care, and you find out that they truly patently just don't care. um, and that's where you have to take this step back and think about how do you reverse engineer it and make it better for yourself and see what it actually looks like for you, so that you actually care about it and you actually have this thing working for you. um, I've been very thoughtful about that, of you can't you can't sort of get other people. This is sort of a really big realization. You can't get other people to care. So you have to kind of just not pay attention to it, not pay attention to the fact that they don't care, and sort of carry on doing things. And that's where you really need to realize, um, it's more of a kind of like a passion project, I guess, that you have to sort of realize that you'll be doing a great deal of work for little credit for a long time. And in fact, it might happen forever where that might happen. And that's where you just kind of have to be okay with it. and sort of keep taking these steps forward, right? I keep investing in the reciprocity platform, keep building things out, keep making more features and making it more interesting and more, suitable for what I want. And, I just keep doing that. And it seems just brutally difficult to keep doing that repeatedly, and making it better. It really truly does, right? Seems crazy, seems insane to actually do it when you're going through it, and yet you keep taking those steps forward, despite the fact that there's very little value added to other people, or they don't understand it, and all of that kind of stuff. Um, so I think that's an important sort of point that you really need to reflect on before you do any innovation projects. Anyways, I guess my thoughts are that in order to get people to care, or to sort of come along with what you're doing, there's only two sort of ways to do this, is to think about what other people are thinking about and try to help them out, right? Like, that is a really important part of it. And then just repeat, almost indefinitely, right? Because it's going to take more than once. You can't just sort of change things overnight. It doesn't happen like that. You have to slowly, incrementally do things, over time. And it's a slow, tedious journey. I wish it was faster. I wish I had, you know, help and all of that kind of stuff, even though that there's amazing people that I rely on. I wish I could have more, right? But that's the world that you actually live in, and you have to just be accepting of the fact that the world doesn't care, and you have to come and take a step back and figure out how to make that happen, and sort of reverse engineer, take those steps to reverse engineer it, rather than just throwing up your hands and saying, well, that didn't work. Well, of course, right? It's because you're sort of seeing it in your eyes. You need to see it in other people's eyes and sort of keep coming back to it and circling back and redoing things. And don't expect anything to happen very quickly. I mean, think about any organization that has had substantial impact, or any venture, anything that has had substantial impact. It's silly to assume that it happened overnight. That's just the rare, bizarre thing. But, the ones that did happen, oh, quote unquote, overnight, it was years of building it with unbelievable amounts of resources dedicated to it in the background that you just don't see, and that story doesn't get told. So, if you're doing this, just expect nobody to care, and that's okay. You have to figure out how to connect, how to resonate, figure out, well, what do you do, right? How do you actually do that, rather than thinking that there is, no way it's ever going to happen. The extremes where nothing's going to happen. Well, that's not true. You have to figure out what it actually means to get there, and take those steps incrementally to actually get there. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.